USA, baby.
And perhaps most importantly, I'm asking you to approve the Save America
Save
Act.
America. Can't be for the Save America Act. Why would we want to save America?
To stop illegal aliens and others who are unpermitted persons from voting in our sacred American elections. That cheating is rampant in our elections. It's rampant. It's very simple. All voters must show voter ID.
Guys, I'm a big fan of voter ID. Again, I go back to kind of like, why would you want to come to the country unvetted and undocumented? Because don't you want to live a valid example, a valid life in America when you get here? Same thing here with voting. If you can't go get a voter ID, I mean, every 16-year-old out there, when they get their driver's license, can't wait to get to the DMV and get his license, and they don't seem to struggle with it. So if you can't do something that a 16-year-old can do, and that's go to somewhere to get an ID and register to vote, then maybe you don't have the intelligence or comprehension to be placing a vote, because the insane probably shouldn't be voting anyway. Here's the sad part and why the midterms are important, guys. You've got to be ready for the midterms. It's because your vote counts for one, just like their vote counts for one. And we know they're coming to the tune of millions. So I love Donald Trump's favorite phrase, too big to rig. Guys, got to get out there, make it too big to rig. Midterms, we have to win. These people they're just not good people, and they're not good government. We won't even get on the socialist rant right now. Let's go. Hakeem, not a fan.
All voters must show proof of citizenship in order to vote.
Yeah, that's smart. Can anybody give me a valid reason why non-citizens should be voting in our government elections?
And no more crooked mail-in ballots except for illness, disability, military, or travel. None.
None. No more. No more.
And this should be an easy one. And by the way, it's polling at 89%, including Democrats. 89%.
You hear that? You guys got to pay attention. I don't give any, what's the word? I don't give any credit to polls. For the biggest reason, look at what happened in the 2024 election. We were told every day Kamala Harris was leading the polls, leading the polls. Come on, folks. This lady couldn't even win a primary where they chased her out. She was the first one to leave, and then somehow she becomes the candidate to run for president. You know the story. So anyway, too big to rig, midterms, but we cannot let these people steal elections. We know what happened in 2020. We're proving it each.
And even the new communist mayor of New York City, I think he's a nice guy, actually. Speak to him a lot. Bad policy, but nice guy. Just said they want people to shovel snow. They got hit hard. Wants them to shovel snow, but if you apply for that job, you need to show 2 original forms of ID and a Social Security card. Yet they don't want identification for the greatest privilege of them all, voting in America. No, it's no good. No good. Both Republicans and Democrats overwhelmingly agree on the policy that we just enunciated. And Congress should unite and enact this common sense, country-saving legislation right now, and it should be before anything else happens. Wants them to shovel snow, but if you apply for that job, you need to show 2 original forms of ID and a Social Security card.
Just to shovel snow.
Yet they don't want identification for the greatest privilege of them all, voting in America. No, it's no good. No good. Both Republicans and Democrats overwhelmingly agree on the policy that we just enunciated. And Congress should unite and enact this common sense, country-saving legislation right now, and it should be before anything else happens.
Yeah, guys, I forgot what I was doing before my phone died. 1 second. Can we brighten it up there a little bit? Let me see. We'll try that. Okay, so I forgot what I was doing when my battery died. We were talking about voter ID and how a 16-year-old can go to the DMV and get a license, but these people that are supposed to be voting in our elections can't go get an ID. And my question to you is why? For you that support going against the Save America Act and voter ID laws, tell me why. Like that lady? She don't believe in it. But she knows she won't win an election unless she lets illegals vote.
And the reason they don't want to do it, why would anybody not want voter ID? One reason,
Exactly.
Because they want to cheat. There's only one reason.
Cheaters.
They make up all excuses. They say it's racist. They come up with things.
There's nothing
say,
racist
what
about voter
imagination
ID.
they have. They want to cheat. They have cheated, and their policy is so bad that the only way they can get elected is to cheat. And we're going to stop it. We have to stop it, John.
Right? You can't give a valid reason why you don't believe in voter ID. Citizen of America to vote. Makes total sense.
And here is one more opportunity to show common sense in government. In the gallery
As
tonight are Sage Blair and her mother, Michelle. In 2021, Sage was 14 when school officials
Listen
in
to
Virginia
this.
sought to socially transition her to a new gender, treating her as a boy and hiding it from her parents. Hard to believe, isn't it? Before long, a confused Sage ran away from home after she was found in a horrific situation in Maryland. A left-wing judge refused to return Sage to her parents because they did not immediately state that their daughter was their son. Sage was thrown into an all-boys state home and suffered terribly for a long time. But today, all of that is behind them because Sage is a proud and wonderful young woman with a full-ride scholarship to Liberty University. Sage and Michelle, please stand up.
Guys, the ramifications of what happened here, it's not so much whether you can tell that there seems to be a little bit of still family issues going on, maybe. I don't know the whole story, the intimate details. But really what's happening here is, think about this. They run around and want to call Donald Trump a fascist, compare him to the Nazis. This Maryland officials took this young lady from their parents. Now, if you're a parent out there and you have a 14-year-old child, I want you to picture this. Somebody says you don't have the rights to your own child after raising them to 14. I mean, fathom this. Am I off my rocker? Talk about fascism. You basically stole somebody's daughter and told them that they didn't have any rights to them. Who's the fascist? Never vote Democrat.
And thank
Disgusting.
you for your great bravery. And who can believe that we're even speaking about things like this? 15 years ago, if somebody was up here and said that, they'd say, what's wrong with him?
It's true.
But now we have to say it because it's going on all over numerous states without even telling the parents. But surely we can all agree no state can be allowed to rip children from their parents' arms and transition them to a new gender against the parents.
Never.
Well, who would believe that we've been talking
Never.
about this? We must ban it, and we must ban it immediately.
How's it even a thing, guys? How is it a thing?
Look, nobody stands up. These people
And
are
the left
crazy,
didn't stand.
I'm telling you.
The left didn't stand for cheering for the fact that parents will always have the rights to their children and a state cannot transgender your child without your knowledge. Think about that. The left didn't stand up. We just live in a mad world, guys. A mad
They're
world.
crazy.
Guys, this next part Trump's going to bring up, it's going to be related to Erica Kurt, Charlie, Turning Point. It's going to be talking about the revival of Christianity in America again, and that young people are grabbing a hold of religion, Christianity. And the reason it's important is, guys, Christianity, or just religions in general, they typically will support morals, values, and ethics, which build character and credibility, again, accountability to your population. I'm a believer in God, so I have my own faith. This isn't about converting anyone or convincing you. I'm just saying that we're watching a State of the Union, which is what is the state of the union right now. And one of the things is the regeneration of Christianity, and why it's important. I believe it's because it builds a foundation for a country. In God we trust should mean something.
This is especially true among young people, and a big part of that had to do with my great friend, Charlie Kirk. A great guy, great man.
He was not all the bad things the Democrats say he was. He was an amazing person, actually. Watch his clips, not
So
edited
last year, Charlie
clips.
was violently murdered by an assassin and martyred, really martyred for his beliefs. His wonderful wife, Erica, is with us tonight. Erica, please stand.
She's pretty amazing. And what does the left do? Make fun of her all the time. Think about this. I don't want any background noise while I say this. Guys, there is clip after clip after clip because people want their clicks just like I do. Please support the channel. So look at that face right there. This woman watched her husband get shot. One bullet took his life. Thank God quickly he didn't suffer. But she and the kids are suffering. And the left makes fun of her all the time. And it's sick and disgusting, guys. What this woman's been through, no one should have to endure. And if you watch those clips, I hope to God you've never clicked a like on it. If you dislike this woman, you dislike Charlie. You've listened to the lies one too many times. Beautiful woman. Inside and out.
Thank you, Erica. Been through a lot. In Charlie's memory, we must all come together to reaffirm that America is one nation under God.
Under
and
God.
We must totally reject political violence of any kind.
Amen. We even got the left up on that one.
We love religion, and we love bringing it back, and it's coming back at levels that nobody actually thought possible.
I didn't think you guys would want to sit through the whole hour and 47 minutes, so I have skipped through some of the section, but one of the things he's talking about right now, and I don't want anybody to be offended because I went through it so fast. He was talking about the hostages, dead and alive, that were being released. And then talking about wars that have ended under his leadership. The reason I paused and what I want to talk about is just war in general, guys. Unfortunately, it's a part of life. I'm not a fan. I do love really going to air shows and watching all of our military power. I do love airplanes and jets, but I do not like war. Thousands and thousands, tens of thousands, and hundreds of thousands, and of course millions over our lifetime end up dying in these wars. Just like I don't like drugs because of all the people that die from the drugs and life's cut short. Anyway, I did. If anybody realized the sections that I skipped over, I didn't want anybody to be offended. So one of these days, maybe we'll spend some time talking about how to avoid wars. But again, this is why I think Donald Trump is so amazing. It's because he made these issues important to try to save lives. Of course, the left spins it around the way they like to spin stuff around. But I really do believe Trump when he says it's all about saving the lives of the young people.
Soldiers are dying a month. A war which would have never happened if I were president. Would have never happened. As president, I will make peace wherever I can, but I will never hesitate to confront threats to America wherever
threats
we
to
must.
America. He will protect
That's why
us.
in a breakthrough operation last June, the United States military obliterated Iran's nuclear weapons program with an attack on Iranian soil known as Operation Midnight Hammer.
Guys, I 100% do not believe in war, but sometimes you have to step outside of your own beliefs. Iran has made it very clear they would love to annihilate the United States of America. I can remember the hostages of the Ayatollah and being little, a young guy, and it was serious business. We cannot let Iran have nuclear weapons.
Good. For decades, it had been the policy of the United States never to allow Iran to obtain a nuclear weapon. Many decades.
Ditto.
Since they seized control of that proud nation 47 years ago, the regime and its murderous proxies have spread nothing but terrorism and death and hate. They've killed and maimed thousands of American service members and hundreds of thousands and even millions of people with what's called roadside bombs. They were the kings of the
Their government. I don't mean the people of Iran.
And we took out Soleimani. I did that during my first term. Had a huge impact. He was the father of the road.
I'm going to move on, guys. Iran could have their own segment. I said I was going to skip through Iran, but he says something here that I do want to bring up. It's his commitment to keep Iran from proliferating their nuclear arsenal. Let me bring this.
The difference is to solve this problem through diplomacy. But one thing is...
You hear that right there? That's why I clicked it. He wants to do it through diplomacy. He wants to talk it out. He doesn't want to just go to war for the sake of going to war, which could get real ugly with the Iran situation. But he will protect Americans, guys.
Certain I will never allow the world's #1 sponsor of terror, which they are by far, to have a nuclear weapon. Can't let that happen.
#1, guys. #1 terrorist organizations come out of Iran. Their support for terrorist organizations.
And no nation should ever doubt America's resolve. We have the most powerful military on earth. I rebuilt the military in my first term.
He does go on to talk about some of the NATO situation and about getting other countries to pay their fair share. Guys, this is important. Just because the economy has boomed over the last 50, 100 years in America, why are we the big donation to the rest of the world? I'm okay with taking care of them. Like, for example, let's use AIDS. if AIDS is rampant in one country and we have medicines or doctors, resources that can help lower the chances of a country's AIDS epidemic spreading, I'm okay with us spending some millions of dollars, maybe not billions, but some money to try to help that country with whether it be education or the health care, or drugs, whatever it is to help, because globally you would want AIDS to be suppressed. But there comes a point where we have to quit being the caretaker of the entire world. Some of them have to help themselves. And that's where NATO comes in and getting them to start spending their money on defense and global situations.
And getting that 5% was something which everyone said would never be done, could not happen. We got it really easily with one meeting. And big difference between 2% that's not paid. We were paying the freight of many of them. Very few were paid up. Now 5%, then they're paid. And everything we send over to Ukraine is sent through NATO, and they pay us in full. They pay us totally in full. Every branch of our armed forces is setting records for recruitment. This is so exciting.
You know, it just reminded me of them showing that picture of Pelosi that, you know, she's over San Francisco. Look at the situation in San Francisco. I would be embarrassed to be a representative of that area. San Francisco, back in 2001, I almost moved there. Actually, yeah, about 2001. I loved the area. Loved San Francisco. It is a shithole now compared to what it was in 2001. Go back and look at your leaders in that area since 2001.
And every service member recently.
Okay, guys, he's going to talk about the cartels for a couple minutes, and I want to play that part.
Large parts of Mexico, really large parts of Mexico, have been controlled by murderous drug cartels.
I have a reason.
That's why I designated these cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, and I declared illicit fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction.
Absolutely. Okay, guys, the reason I wanted to play the fentanyl cartel section is it goes back to the borders. And how can we have safe borders when right across from us are thousands and tens of thousands of people who want to bring fentanyl and other drugs into our country so that our young people and people of different ages, but mostly young people, so that they can kill them with these drugs. You would think that a drug dealer wouldn't want to kill off his customer, but they do. And it all has to do with making the drug strong enough to be addictive instantly. And I don't think that's talked about enough. The amount of people that the cartel have killed in America outweighs any of our wars, probably all combined. What is it? About 130,000 people a year die of drug overdoses, and we save a lot of drug overdoses. So what would the number really be if it wasn't for things like Narcan and stuff? So again, build the wall, keep the bad guys out. Want to come here legally, vetted? You can do that, guys. We have a process. Guys, I'm going to play this section here because it's important. We just talked about the cartels and the dangers of having them in our proximity, bringing their people over here to conceal and hide the drugs, bring them over, smuggle them, traffic them. And lots of bad things happen when those drugs are being trafficked to children and other people. Just the American or Mexicans that want to come over here or different nationalities. the things they have to go through just to deal with the cartels. I mean, these are atrocities, guys. Absolutely 100%. But listen to this and notice who doesn't clap for Donald Trump.
In January, elite American warriors carried out one of the most complex, spectacular feats of military competence and power in world history. No one's seen anything like it. Foreign leaders, I won't tell you who, called me and they said, very impressive, very impressive. They couldn't believe, they all watched. They saw what happened. This is a different fighting force that we had years ago when we fought to tie.
Okay, bringing in this next piece because it talks about going into Venezuela and taking over Maduro. Think about this. Again, they want to call Donald Trump a fascist, right? But, I mean, do you understand how Maduro became president? He was voted out and never left, just stayed. And what he's done to that country since he's been there is devastating. Perhaps look in the mirror sometimes. You want to see a fascist. These Democrats, they just have no idea. They really have no idea.
Good fighters. To end the reign of outlaw dictator Nicolas Maduro and bring him to face American justice.
Dictator. That's the word I was looking for. Dictator, guys. They want to call Donald Trump a dictator, but support Maduro. It makes no sense.
And this was an absolutely colossal victory for the security of the United States, and it also opens up a bright new beginning for the people of Venezuela. We're working closely with the new president of Venezuela, Delcy Rodriguez, to unleash extraordinary economic gains for both of our countries and to bring new hope to those who have suffered so terribly. They really did suffer. With us tonight is
Think about that. We liberated those
Alejandro
people.
Gonzalez. She grew up in a tight-knit Venezuelan family and was especially close to her beloved uncle Enrique. But after Enrique ran for office and opposed Maduro, he was kidnapped by Maduro's security forces and thrown into the regime's really infamous prison in Caracas. Alejandro feared she would never see her uncle again. She feared for her own life also. But since the raid, we have worked with the new leadership, and they have ordered the closure of that vile prison and released hundreds of political prisoners already, with more to come. Alejandro, I'm pleased to inform you that not only has your uncle been released, but he is here tonight. We brought him over to celebrate
awesome
his
is that?
freedom with you in person. Enrique,
Awesome,
please come
guys.
down.
President does some amazing things. And they got up for that one. That was hard to believe they got up for it. Was it a total surprise? Because that's pretty cool, especially if it was a surprise.
Thank you, Enrique. Have a good time. Nice to have you back, Enrique. There were many heroes on that
What an evil
January
guy he
raid
is,
to
isn't he,
capture
Donald Trump?
Maduro. Really great heroes. It was very dangerous. They knew we were coming. They were all set. But the deeds of one warrior that night will live forever in the eternal chronicles of military valor. Chief Warrant Officer 5, Eric Slover, planned the mission and was the flight lead in the cockpit of the first helicopter. A big, beautiful, powerful helicopter. It was a massive Chinook carrying, as you can imagine, many, many American warfighters. Wearing the dog tags, his wife Amy had blessed with holy water before he left. She knew it was going to be a rough one. Eric steered the Chinook under the cover of night and descended swiftly upon Maduro's heavily protected military fortress. This was a major military installation, protected by thousands of soldiers and guarded by Russian and Chinese military technology. How did that work out? Not too good. While preparing to land, enemy machine guns.
We know who our enemies are. Some of us just want to be friends with them, like the Chinese. Unfortunately, we have such an economical situation with them, but politically, it's not good.
Fired from every angle, and Eric was hit very badly in the leg and hip, one bullet after another. He absorbed 4 agonizing shots, shredding his leg into numerous pieces. And yet, despite the fact that the use of his legs was vital to successful helicopter flight, legs are the most important part of flying a helicopter, to deliver the many commandos who would capture and detain Maduro was the only thing Eric was thinking about. Then, even as he was gushing blood, which was flowing back down the aisle, helicopter lands at a steep angle. The machine gun stood right in front of him. They were right in front of him, 2 machine gunners who escaped the wrath of the previous planes. Eric maneuvered his helicopter with all of those lives and souls to face the enemy and let his gunners eliminate the threat. Turned the helicopter around so the gunners could take care of business, saving the lives of his fellow warriors from what could have been a catastrophic crash deep in enemy territory. Only after safely landing the helicopter with all the warriors aboard in the exact right spot, which was vital to the mission. We probably would have had to maybe cancel the mission if that didn't happen. Eric told his co-pilot, also wounded, but not as gravely, to take over. I'm about ready to pass out. The success of the entire mission and the lives of his fellow warriors hinge on Eric's ability to take the searing pain. It was unbelievable what's happened to his legs, of the bullets, and keep on flying and landing, and people knew what was happening. Everybody in the back of the helicopter knew because they saw the blood pouring down the aisle. Chief Warrant Officer Slover is still recovering from his serious wounds, but I'm thrilled to say that he is here tonight with his wife, Amy, Eric, and Amy. Come on in.
God bless America. The gentleman there with the walker. You see the guy beside him, what he's got. Salute. It's all about the USA, baby. If you're not an American, and you're not proud of
So
this.
we have a surprise for Eric and Amy. In recognition of Eric's actions above and beyond the call of duty, I would now like to ask General Jonathan Braga to present Chief Warrant Officer Slover with our nation's highest military award, the Congressional Medal of Honor.
Congratulations. Are in order. And the people of Venezuela thank him too, I'm sure. This is why when you meet veterans, you almost always say, thank you for your service. What they go through to keep us safe in our liberties and our freedoms should never disrespect them. Like the Democrats. They'll crack a smile here in a second. Well decorated. Look at all that.
Tonight we've celebrated many truly extraordinary American patriots, but there is one last living legend to honor before we go. He is one more heroic American aviator, Navy fighter pilot. Royce Williams served in World War II, Korea, Vietnam, flying more than 220 missions. In the skies over Korea in 1952, Royce was in the dogfight of a lifetime, legendary dogfight. Flying through blizzard conditions, his squadron was ambushed by 7 Soviet fighter planes. It was his first aerial combat of the war, and despite being massively outnumbered and outgunned, Royce led the takedown of 4 enemy jets and almost destroyed the others, vanquishing his adversaries while taking 263 bullets to his own plane and being seriously hurt. His story was secret for over 50 years. He didn't even want to tell his wife, but the legend grew and grew. But tonight, at 100 years old, this brave Navy captain is finally getting the recognition he deserves. He was a legend long before this evening. Royce, please stand up, and I will ask the First Lady of the United States to present Captain Royce Williams with his Congressional Medal of Honor.
Sorry.
"250 years is a long time in the life of a nation, but in another sense, it's really a mere moment in the eye of history." 2 of the gentlemen we met in the gallery this evening took their first breaths 1 century ago, 100 years before that, on July 4th, 1826, the author of the Declaration of Independence, brilliant, Thomas Jefferson, drew his last breath. Just a single long human lifespan separates the giants who declared and won our independence from the heroes who stand among us tonight. Everything our nation has done, everything we have achieved, has been the work of those few great lifetimes. In those brief chapters, Americans built this nation from 13 humble colonies into the pinnacle of human civilization and human freedom, the strongest, wealthiest, most powerful, most successful nation in all of history. Americans ventured out across the daunting and dangerous continent. We carved paths through an unforgiving wilderness, settled a boundless frontier, and tamed the beautiful but very, very dangerous Wild West. From empty marshes and wide open plains, we raised up the world's greatest cities. Together, we mastered the world's mightiest industries and shattered history's monstrous tyrannies. And we liberated millions from the chains of fascism, communism, oppression, and terror. Americans lifted humanity into the skies on the wings of aluminum and steel. And then we launched mankind into the stars on rockets powered by sheer American will and unyielding American pride. We wired the globe with our ingenuity. We captivated the planet with American culture. And now we are pioneering the next great American breakthroughs that will change the entire world. All of this and so much more is the enduring legacy, unmatched glory of the hardworking patriots who built and defended this country and who still carry the hopes and freedoms on all of humanity's backs. For years they were forgotten, betrayed, and cast aside. But that great betrayal is over, and they will never be forgotten again. Because when the world needs courage, daring, vision,
Is
and
he actually paying
inspiration,
attention?
it is still turning to America. And when God needs a nation to work his miracles, he knows exactly who to ask. There is no challenge Americans cannot overcome, no frontier too vast for us to conquer, no dream too bold for us to chase, no horizon too distant for us to claim. For our destiny is written by the hand of Providence, and these first 250 years were just the beginning. From the rugged border towns of Texas to the heartland villages of Michigan, from the sun-kissed shores of Florida to the endless fields of the Dakotas, and from the historic streets of Philadelphia to right here in our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., the golden age of America is upon us. The revolution that began in 1776 has not ended. It still continues because the flame of liberty and independence still burns in the heart of every American patriot. And our future will be bigger, better, brighter, bolder, and more glorious than ever before. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
We'll stand up now. It's time to go home. Hope they were embarrassed enough. I feel like we could have done a little more, but he did a good job of embarrassing. Why is that important? Because they deserve it. They deserve to be embarrassed. I absolutely get sick listening to some of them talk and what they support. And you can't just support it because you have Trump derangement syndrome. You either support it or you don't. The fact that they go that far with it tells me they don't care about Americans. They don't care about... Right there's the guy that cares about Americans. Hey guys, I hope you stayed with me. I hope this is my first time doing this style of video and I like it. I hope you like it too. Comment down below if this is the kind of stuff you prefer. And thank you for watching. Have an incredible week. I think that was a great job by the President, Donald